Okay, I want you to understand these 8 things if your business is starting to struggle, okay? Chris Worden, we offer free and independent impartial advice to UK directors who have got debt problems within their business. So the first one is defining insolvency. Dead important. It's a complex subject that can be boiled down to something very simple. Is your business unable to pay its debts when they fall due? Yes or no? If it's a yes, you're insolvent. Second part of number 1 is it's called a balance sheet test. Are the assets of your business worth more than the liabilities, or are the liabilities worth more than your assets? And if the liabilities are more than your assets, your business is insolvent. Question 1.3, the legal action test. If your business has had a CCJ against it, or a stat demand, or indeed a winding up petition, your business is insolvent. Okay, so this is point number 2, recognising insolvency early. Because insolvency doesn't happen overnight in most cases. There's a lot of warning signs. You know, you can't meet payroll at the end of the month. You can't adhere to your payment terms from your clients. You're always having to renegotiate with HMRC a time to pay arrangement. You're getting constant calls, letters and emails about people chasing money that you don't have. Number 3, seeking professional advice. Okay. The reason why it's so important to seek professional advice from, certainly if your business is struggling, an insolvency professional, is they can assess the financial health of the company. They can provide guidance on appropriate options and actions going forward, and help you determine if and when you should stop trading. Okay? Now, 4, I want to explain your legal obligations and duties as a director. There's things called fiduciary duties, okay? And what it means to someone like me is stuff that you're meant to do as a director, okay? I like to keep things mega simple here. But when you become insolvent, your director's roles change, because when you set up your business, your focus is to generate profits for shareholders and stakeholders. Generally you in a small business. But when you become insolvent, then responsibilities go out the window. And what you're now responsible for is to not make the creditors' positions any worse, okay? So become insolvent. If you keep trading and you become more insolvent, you rack up more debts, you're going to get yourself into trouble. Now, number 5, I want to talk about assessing the viability of the business. And I think that this is the importance of seeking professional advice, is actually looking at things without rose-tinted glasses and going, is this business viable? Is it viable in its current guise? What needs to happen to make it profitable? Or is it viable with no legacy debt? Or is this business model over now? You know, is this time to just shut the shop, throw the keys back and be done with it? But you've got to understand, is your business viable? Because there's a curse that I've suffered with in the past. I'm an optimist. When my business was struggling, if you'd have come into my desk and gone, Chris, how's it going? I'd have looked at you and I'd gone, it's about to turn round. And I believe my own bullshit. You know, sometimes being an optimist in situations like this is not a good idea. Again, you've got to get realistic. What's actually going on? So, number 6, it's talking about considering the point of no return. Okay, really, really important for UK directors here. So I want to explain what the point of return means. It refers to a stage when it becomes clear that the recovery of this company is no longer an option. You're far past the post. And if you continue to trade past this point, you are going to worsen the creditors' positions and you are going to get yourself into trouble. So indicators are just reaching unsustainable debt levels. Come on, we know, don't we? We know when we're looking at what we're due in, what's due out, what's in the pipeline. You know when you pass the point of return, okay? It's an important key point for you to take away on this video. 7, you've got to evaluate your options. You know, like I've said, most people who ring me do not want to close a business and don't need to close a business. What they need to do is talk to the HMRC, tell them that they can't pay them this month and we'll try and work a payment out, negotiate a time to pay arrangement, speak to your creditors. I can't pay this month, but it's all about communication, this job. You know, some people may be better off trying to sell the business. Some people might need to get their business into administration. Some people might need to do a CVA where they restructure the debts formally over a period of, say, 5 years. Some businesses, you know what, the best way for them to do it is to pre-pack the business and start again. Some people, it's the end of the line and, the business is over. But you've got to evaluate options and understand your options. And to do that, you really need to speak to somebody who's more experienced in these things than yourself. And finally, taking timely action. It's really important that when insolvency is evident, that you take some action. Delaying decisions can cause bigger problems and cause you consequences early doors. And take more than one bit of advice, People find me on YouTube and they've spoken to 4 or 5 IPs and they want to speak to someone else. Do it. You can't get enough of this advice right now. There's some people you'll like. There's some people you won't like. There's some people you'll understand. There's some people who talk double Dutch. But you really need to understand your position. And the sooner you take advice, the more favourable outcome there'll be in the end. I hope you found this video helpful. Chris.